Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and thank you guys so much for watching. Today, I'm going to be discussing where I am at with the F Factor diet and a lot of the things you guys have brought to my Instagram DMs regarding the controversy surrounding the F Factor community, the powders, and a lot of your concerns. So, let's get into it. Okay, so let's get into it today. First things first is we're going to talk about where I am. I am just being balanced right now. I'm trying to be balanced. I'm eating food. I'm enjoying food. I'm not counting carbs. I haven't counted carbs since, I haven't truly counted carbs for 7 straight days since the last time I could remember doing the 35 net carb video for you all. Honestly, I've done F Factor for 2 years. So, you know, I just don't feel the need to count carbs and fiber as much as I used to, because it's something that I brought into my life, and I try to just always keep the same healthier habits versus regressing back to eating a whole loaf of French bread, which I love. Now I just eat a little bit. So that's where I am. But let's talk about my toolbox getting into F Factor, because I think the segue into what I truly believe everyone really needs will come from that. So prior to F Factor, I did a plant-based lifestyle and Whole30 and probably something else I don't remember. But those 2 things I remember the most, because I learned the most about how I eat and my patterns and what I like. When I was plant-based, I ate a lot of rice, I ate a lot of carbs, and I do love those things, but it just wasn't for me, like long term. I love bacon and I love meats, and so it just wasn't for me. And then when I did Whole30, that was very eye-opening, because it opened my eyes up to how processed the food in America is, how much processed food I was eating, and the ramifications of foods that don't have good nutritional value. And by good nutritional value, I mean foods that don't have the nutrients you need in a day. Like, you do need fiber, you need protein, you need carbs, you need those things. And so that is something that I learned about myself, and I took a lot of those tools from those 2 types of diets, and I brought those over with me to F Factor. So when you see me having uncured sugar-free bacon, that came from Whole30, and I thought uncured sugar-free bacon was delicious, and it just had a better nutritional value to me and for me. Same with grass-fed beef, same with a lot of things. One thing I did not bring over on F Factor was potatoes. I ate a ton of potatoes on Whole30. Let me be clear, I never stopped eating them. I love French fries. I would never give up French fries. Know that. So when I came over to F Factor, I did the 35. I think I did the 75 for sure. 75 was hard for me. It's not, it's like, oh, it's such a big jump for me. And then I did 125. Understand that when I started, there were no powders. It was just, you were eating food, you were eating GG crackers, and you were eating like actual fresh foods. Carrots, celery. I loved PB2, which I brought over from Whole30. So PB2, I'm eating that with celery. I'm eating carrots. I'm having salads with a good amount of food in them. I'm learning how to go out to restaurants and eat out and make really wise decisions. I'm learning that getting a smaller portion of pasta is better than getting the whole big, overly American-sized portion of pasta, And I'm really learned a lot about portion sizing. So that's what I was getting from F Factor, and eating fiber and eating carbs, and how fiber negates carbs and how that works, and how your metabolism speeds up. I'm a huge student of learning about healthy eating. I'm a huge student of that. So, everything down to the way my poop looks matters to me, and always has. And so when I come to tell you guys like all of these things, I'm saying I came to F Factor with some tools, and I'm walking through the rest of my life with tools from F Factor and the tools I came into it with. And I think that's very important, that you understand that every diet is not one size fits all, and that you cannot truly look to one diet to be the way you live your entire life. And I think I've said this before. If I haven't, I'm saying it today. You have to take what works from you, what works for you, and incorporate that into your life and keep it moving. I understand a lot of people really want structure and guidelines, but honestly, you are the structure and the guideline on where it works for your body. So trusting your body and learning why you crave certain things. Are you an emotional eater? So when my feelings are hurt, or when I'm happy, or when I'm sad, like, what am I eating? What am I craving? Why am I craving chips, or why am I craving meat today? Or learning those things about yourself are much more important than anything. And learning your intolerances, like maybe your body doesn't digest certain things well. As you get older, your body does not always digest things as good as they used to. Trust me, I'm 30 plus and that's what's real. But like learning your body and learning what works for you and what works for your interests and taste buds in your lifestyle. Don't ever go into a diet, keto, Whole30, F Factor, vegan, plant-based, whatever you want to call it. Like, don't ever go into that diet thinking I'm gonna live only this way the rest of my life. Unless it's vegan, then maybe you might. But go into it like, okay, I want to learn a few things and incorporate them into my lifestyle. That's how you should go into a diet, and take that and make that into your lifestyle, and then that way you can become more balanced. I think it's very important that we work on healing our relationship with food, and I think your relationship with food is a personal thing. It is like your relationship with yourself, because it is literally your relationship with yourself. So it's a very personal thing. You have to figure out what works for you, and you have to understand that you need to be gentle with yourself, because you have spent 18, 25, 30 plus years eating the way you've been eating, and you have this, your body is used to this. You have this kind of habits that you've been living through. So when you go to make a big change, it's going to be tough. You're going to fall off. You're not going to do well. You know, it's not going to be perfection day one. I think you need to give yourself some grace, because it's not going to be perfection out the gate. So keep that in mind, guys. When you step into any type of diet, whether it's F Factor or not. In reference to the powders, let's get into that. So when I started, there were no powders. The powder is not a big part of my lifestyle. I use it for waffles and pancakes, and that's really the only time I ever use it. Everything in moderation is how I live my life, unless it's water. But everything in moderation I would recommend for you. I have heard a lot of bad, like, horror stories. People have come into my DMs to share their stories, and I really don't know what to say, because I don't really know a lot about nutrition. I do know that I have a friend who used to work at a company that creates protein powders, and she tried the waffles, is obsessed with them, and she doesn't digest fiber well, so it's not something that she can eat a lot of all the time, because fiber is something you have to slowly take into your body and get your body used to. Too much fiber will not be good for you, so it's something you have to go in small doses. But she, didn't have an issue, and she's completely different from me as far as eating goes. So I think that I have no words for like a lot of the things I've been reading and a lot of things I've been saying. My one thought, and this isn't like a victim blaming thing, is how often are you having this powder? Is this powder in every meal? How much of it is every meal? Because 20 grams of fiber and protein is a lot of fiber and protein in one sitting. So if you're doing this multiple times a day, that's kind of a bit much in my thought process. For me, it would be. I've never used the fiber for anything aside from maybe muffins. And I did try the biscuit recipe, which I didn't like, because if I'm gonna have biscuits, I'm gonna have biscuits, and I need them to be like fluffy, and that's just what I prefer. this is no negative thing towards the powder or people who are having those issues, but I just have a lot of questions around it, but I also don't want to get into the Facebook chat asking a million questions about it, because I want to respect you guys' privacy or your experience and your opinion, because I would ask that you did the same for me. But I want to urge you to step away from the powders if they don't work for you, because you don't need them. Like, you do not need the powders. You don't need the bars. You really probably should read the book if you haven't. You really don't need anything but real whole foods in order to make this diet work for you. You don't have to have the powder. I never had the powder, guys, in the beginning. I had Gigi crackers, and they worked for me. Gigi crackers worked for me just to have those. So I'm just like flabbergasted by all the things that I've read in my DMs, because to be quite honest, I never really was in the Facebook group. I'm actually newly in the Facebook group, and I haven't checked into it. And, you know, I'm always available to talk on YouTube or Instagram or email, but I just don't see myself in the Facebook community that, for a factor, having a discussion with you all about it too much. Hate to say it, but I just don't see myself going out of my way to like really get any advice on it when I have the book, and that's all the advice I really need, and that's all I'm just like, okay. You know, I think that you all should step away from the powders if they don't work for you, for sure, and just continue on eating whole vegetables and meats and proteins and things like that. Would probably be ideal. As far as the other things going on, as far as hiding comments on Facebook about your negative experiences, I don't agree with that at all. I'm highly against that. If that is what is happening, I do not agree with that. I do not condone that. That's not the way I would run my brand. If you had an issue with me and it was a serious issue and it wasn't some trolling, I would address it with you on a private message. But I come from a background of customer service in social media, where that's how we operated, and that's how I would operate if it was my business. This is not my business. This is just a lifestyle that I actually liked, or like, basically, because I still do it. So I don't condone it at all. I'm against it. Period. That's all I have to say. Customer service over everything is my belief in life. Now, if you're trolling this business and you get ignored, what did you expect? But if you are not trolling, if you are simply sharing your experiences, then, and they're ignoring you, which, I don't agree with that. That doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel great at all. In reference to everything else, I don't know what else is going on with F Factor, but you can leave comments below, and hit me up on Instagram, or you can email me. That email information is also down below. You know, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about what I said, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Like this video if you actually like this video. Share with your friends. I know everything I say is not in agreement with everyone, and everybody's experience is different, so I respect that, and I ask you guys to do the same for me. And I'm sending you guys all the love, and I really, really, really cannot emphasize more than anything that I want you guys to heal your relationship with food and stop seeing food as bad. Stop seeing carbs as bad. Y'all got great hair. Anyway, stop seeing carbs as bad. Stop seeing food as the enemy, and build a good relationship with it. Love it because it loves you. It feeds your body, and just heal your relationship with food. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you guys soon.